My name is Dulani Perry, the fight god from Queens, New York, currently fighting out of Houston, Texas. Well, I started training martial arts at 5 years old in karate. Seido karate was the style, more specifically. And I was on and off throughout my whole entire life. But, you know, my parents put me in it. They forced me to do it, and everything was cool. But, you know, as I get older, I wanted to venture to do new things. I was looking at friends and what they were doing, and I was, you know, I kind of wanted to get into rapping and a lot of different stuff. Basketball, baseball. I was a growing man, so I was trying new things. But you know, those things weren't working out for me too well. I tried the school thing, I tried the college thing. That didn't work out for me too well. I got kicked out of 3 high schools, 2 colleges, all for fighting. You know, fighting was my passion, and I couldn't really find a way to make a living. You know, I was trying to find a career. I was in search of finding a career as a growing man, and nothing was working out for me. So one day I'm watching karate videos, and I stumbled across a UFC video, and I seen like the most amazing knockout ever, you know. So I said, I want to do this stuff right here, you know. And then once I found out guys are really getting paid for this stuff, not doing like local karate tournaments like I was used to, I said, maybe I need to get into this. You know, these guys are making money fighting, and fighting is what I love to do. Like I said, I got kicked out of 3 high schools, 2 colleges, all for fighting. So I just dug back into my roots, and I moved to Houston, Texas, and I was going to this karate gym, and it was still the same style. It was the point karate. You hit the guys, stop, and you know. But the whole entire time, I had this UFC thing in the back of my mind. Like, man, I want to do that ongoing, real fighting, the real brawling type stuff. I want to do that. I don't want to hit a guy and stop. So I was asking the guys in the karate gym, where can I find a gym that I can do this stuff? So they said, there's a Gracie Baja about 10 miles away, something like that. And it was amazing. I really didn't have a way to get there. You know, so I called my dad. He sent me money for a bicycle, you know, and they said it was like 10 miles away. So I said, I'll get a bicycle. I can ride the bicycle there, you know. So I got this bicycle, and I went to Walmart. I got the bicycle with $100 that my dad sent me, and I rode the bicycle to the gym. And it took me an hour to get there on the bicycle, but I didn't care. I just wanted to train MMA. I wanted to get into this MMA stuff, but I didn't really have a clue what it was. So I walked into this Gracie Baja gym, and I'm a 3rd-degree black belt in karate at the time, and I'm on the mats. I get on the mats, and they're telling me, you can try the class, because I told them I want to try the class. I want to do an intro class or whatever, but I'm like, I don't really have any money. Maybe, you know, I can show you guys some stuff. You can show me some stuff, being that I'm a 3rd-degree black belt in karate. You know, so they're like, we don't know about showing us some stuff. They said, put on this white belt, put on the gi, and get on the mats and do some jiu-jitsu. So I'm like, white belt? I'm a 3rd-degree black belt in karate. Why would I put on a white belt? I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, I have years and years of experience. Why the hell would I put on a white belt? At the time, I wasn't really clear on what jiu-jitsu was. I just thought, you know, we was gonna be wrestling around and stuff. I'm like, I'll manhandle these guys, whatever. I've done like little, like grappling, like holding guys down in karate, but nothing to the skill level of what jiu-jitsu is, you know. So I get on this mat, and I started rolling with guys, and like the first 10 seconds, I tapped out, and non-stop all day. It was like, you know, I was just tapping. It was like I was playing drums as much as I was tapping, you know. It was crazy. So, you know, I took the mindset from there. I'm a competitive person. I have a whole competitive nature, so I'm like, I don't like being beat. You know, if somebody can beat me, if somebody does something better than me, I look at it like we're all human. You know, we all bleed the same, we all breathe the same. These guys are not doing nothing I can't do. They just spent time practicing and learning this skill. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna take all of my time and I'm gonna learn how to do this. So from that day on, I rode an hour on a bicycle on the side of the highway to get the train. And I used to train for 2 hours and ride an hour back. I mean, on the side of the highway, cars doing 70 miles an hour past me, 80 miles per hour, just boom, boom, you know. And I'm thinking I'm gonna get killed, but I don't care. I wanna learn martial arts. And I never missed a day. I was the only person that went like a year and a half, and I never missed one single day. And I had my first amateur fight. I opened up for Ken Shamrock. It was a really big card. I knocked the guy out, and from that moment, I said, mixed martial arts is for me. And several years later, look at me now, undefeated pro fighter in the Ultimate Fighter house, you know, fighting at the top of the food chain. You know, it all paid off. The guy that got kicked out of 3 high schools and 2 colleges, all for fighting, is now making a living off fighting, and that's what I live for. Well, you know, going in there, I did have a lot of pride at first, you know, and that's why I was like, man, how am I gonna put on this white belt? I'm a 3rd-degree black belt in karate. You know, I had a lot of pride, but at the moment they told me to do it, I still had pride. Even when I put the white belt on, I still had pride. I said, you know what? maybe these guys just want me to show them, you know, how much of a badass I am. So, you know, I'm like, all right, I'll put on this white belt and I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna beat these guys' asses, you know? So I'm on the mats thinking I got my chest high, my head high, and I'm like, I'm gonna crush these guys, you know? And then when they was getting me, I'm like, oh, this is a different world, you know? But it was definitely a humbling experience for a guy that's so cocky like me. Sometimes you gotta be reminded to be a little humble, you know? But yeah, it humbled me, man, but it doesn't matter, because several months later, I remember some of the guys that tapped me out, you know, I ended up tapping them out, and I'm like, yeah, it just took a little commitment. You know, with me, I know I'm playing catch up. There's guys that are 10 steps ahead of me. I can't train as much as they train and catch up to their skill level. In order to catch up to them, I have to train twice as hard. So on my sick days, I was training. On Sundays, I was training. When the gym opened, I was the first one there. And I always made sure I was the last one to leave. And slowly but surely, I caught up. You know, the first guy that I ever sparred in like a Muay Thai, not karate like I was used to, like the first guy I did Muay Thai, kickboxing type sparring with was Alex Morano, who now fights for UFC. You know, he trained at the same Gracie Barra that I went to. And it was the same thing. You know, when I went in there to spar, because I was like, you know, I'm not really a ground guy. I started changing my story now. I'm like, I'm a stand-up guy, you know? So they're like, all right, put this headgear on, you know? But I still kind of felt a little weird, because they didn't make him put headgear on. They made me put headgear on. But I kind of think they knew where this was going, you know, but I didn't know. But I think in the beginning I caught him with like 2-3 good kicks, but you know, they didn't have any power, because karate, you come from the snap the kicks, when like Muay Thai guys are following through with their kicks and they want a lot of power. Karate guys want speed. But I think I caught him with like 2-3 kicks, but he just kept coming forward, and I wasn't used to that forward motion. You know, karate, you kick the guy one time, they stop it. You know, this point here, you know, this was none of that shit. You know, I kicked him 2-3 times, and he still come with punches and stuff, and he beat the crap out of me. Now that I look back, I don't think that he was going hard. You know, I just think that I just wasn't on his skill level, and he beat the shit out of me. And he's a UFC fighter now, and he's doing good for himself. But you know, I'm here too. Now I'm making it. I'm not in the UFC, but I'm here in the Ultimate Fighter House, and I'm giving it my all, and I'm trying to be all that I can be, and I'm trying to gain all of the exposure that I can. I'm trying to be as controversial as possible. I want all the camera shine. I try to look good every time I step in the camera. You know, I got to have my GQ mode going, and I'm just trying to be all that I can be and do all that I can do and inspire and motivate other people to be the best they can be as well. Well, in the beginning, my family was they were a little skeptical about this MMA stuff. You know, when I tell them, you know, they start researching MMA, they didn't really know too much about it. They knew about karate, what they put me into. But as I started telling them I want to be an MMA fighter, you know, at first they were backing me up because they're my parents and they're gonna back me up with anything I do. But as they start researching it and really seeing what MMA is, and you know, you start seeing all of the blood here and guys getting choked out, and you know, arm bars. Some guys don't tap, so they get their arms broke and stuff like that. You know, now they're like, are you sure you want to do this? So, you know, my dad's like, man, he said, I seen some tough guys out there. He's like, I know you're tough. He's like, but I watch this stuff and I see some really, really tough guys, and I don't know if you're as tough as them, you know? And my mom's like, you know, there's a bunch of other things you can do in life. You know, you can be a police officer, you can be a firefighter, you can do this, you can do that, you can be a teacher like me. My mother's an English professor. She graduated from Harvard University. So I think she wanted me to more take the school route, you know? But I'm like, nah, this MMA, this is it. This is what I want to do. I love fighting. I love making money. And if I can make money fighting, then this is like perfect for me. You know, so they were real skeptical about it in the beginning, but you know, this is battle of the undefeated, and I think because I'm undefeated, I'm 4-0, and I'm 1-0 undefeated as a kickboxer as well. You know, being that they see me keep winning fights, I think it's easing them out a little bit. You know, they're like, oh, he's winning. All right, my son's not getting beat up. But I don't think they're done being scared. I think when the day comes, if I ever get the shit beat out of me, I think they'll be like, you know, I think they'll step up and be like, man, you can still change your career. You know? But I'm gonna tell them, you know, it's all part of the sport. I know what I signed up for, and it is what it is. If I get the shit beat out of me, I take it like a man. I give the guy a hug and say, good fight. You know, it's not gonna happen again. I'm gonna get in the gym and I'm gonna train twice as hard, and I'm gonna come back for you, and I'm gonna beat your ass next time. Well, there's a song that's out and by Meek Mills, and it says, if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. You know, basically meaning if you ain't got no haters in your life, you're not doing nothing good. You know, people don't hate on people that are doing worse than them. Why even give them any energy? You know, at the point people are paying you attention, it means you must be doing something right. You know, this is a sport, and it is about fighting, but as well as it being about fighting, more importantly, it's about entertaining fans. It's about putting asses in seats. It's about making money. You got to sell tickets, you know. So there's millions of fighters around the world. I mean, everybody can fight. You know, people see good fights every day, but I think when you look at a Conor McGregor, I think you're looking at, you know, the blueprint of the mixed martial arts guy that makes a living off controversy, who sells himself, his image. You know, that's what his success is based on. And you look at Floyd Mayweather, it's the same thing. I mean, old boxer Muhammad Ali had a big mouth. Mike Tyson used to talk about eating people's kids. I mean, you know, ridiculous things you would say, you know, but it made lots of money for the boxing commission, for himself, you know, for these big promotions. It made lots of money. So I'm here to do the same thing. You know, there's no guarantee that I'm gonna win every fight, right? So in order to still make Dana White money, I have to have something with me that can say, hey, even if I get my ass whipped, I still got this going for myself where I can still put asses in seats. So I think that's why I come in very controversial, always making a lot of noise, because people will love to see me get my ass whipped, or my congratulators that will want to see me win as well. You know, I'm a good looking guy, I dress well, you know, so you got a lot of fashionistas and stuff out here who want to see just guys that look good and dress good, and you know, they're looking for what they want to put on their outfit. You know, I'm setting trends. You know, I wear a suit for the success, but I wear a ski mask for the struggle. You know, I mean, I'm representing two different lifestyles, but you put it all together, and you know, sometimes you got to remember where you come from to know where you're going. You know, so that's why I mix things like this, and you know, I'm always gonna have ways to sell myself. There's nobody in this house, and I don't think nobody in the UFC can create more controversy and sell more tickets to me. I mean, you put me in there, man, I'll raise the ratings for everything, for the show, for the I'll pack the arenas. I don't care, you know. But so that's why I do what I do, because I'm not sure that I could win 100% every fight. I'm very confident who I am as a fighter, but in MMA, this is not like boxing. You don't have these big gloves. I mean, these little 4-ounce gloves, you could be way better than a guy. If he puts his head down and swings the right punch, I mean, that glove come across your chin, I mean, it's lights out for you. I don't care. You could have been winning 2.5 rounds. You know, the fight can be over. So I think more fighters need to follow me in that sense, that you need to have other ways to market yourself. And I think that I'm also setting a great blueprint, as well as Conor McGregor. And what that is, you know, I'm not as big as he is right now, but I'm sure everybody can see the vision and where I'm coming from. So just watch where I end up. I'm going to be big. I'm going to be major. Well, it would absolutely prove something to myself. You know, in life, you're always trying to prove things to yourself, you know, as well as I like to prove things to other people as well. You know, sometimes they say, oh, don't do it for other people, do it for yourself. But I don't know if I can go with that. You know, I like to prove things to myself, of course, because I am me and I have to satisfy myself, and that's cool. But as well, I don't live a selfish lifestyle. You know, I live a life trying to inspire and motivate others to be the best that they can too. So I try to impress other people. I want people to look at me and be happy. I want them to be impressed. I want them to say, listen, I'm not as good as him, so I want to work harder, you know, because that's how I came up. If I didn't have nobody to look up to, if I didn't get tapped by those guys in that gym that I went to, I would have never built an interest in mixed martial arts. If I would have beat all of those guys, I probably would have beat them all and went back to the karate gym. You know, the only reason I stayed in that mixed martial arts gym is because all of those guys tapped me out, and I said, this can't work out like this. I have to better myself. Like, I can't have these guys thinking that they could just punk me out. Like, no, I'm not no coward in life. You know, I'm a competitor. I'm a strong man. I get back in the gym and I work the hardest. So it would mean the world to me if I won this gym. You know, I put a lot of hours and I put a lot of hard work in, blood, sweat, and tears. You know, I cry before all of my fights. Not because I'm scared. I cry because, you know, I just look back for where I came from, and I think about everybody that's chasing a dream, you know, and everybody that's trying to make it to where they're going. And every time I step foot in that cage, I know that I'm inspiring and motivating people, and I know that people got their eyes on me and they're looking for hope, you know. So I cry for inspiration for all of those people, and it's a proud feeling for me to just know that I'm doing something that's gonna help people out, you know. So yeah, definitely it mean a lot to me, and I know it mean a lot to other people, because a lot of people looked at where I came from. A lot of people seen that I came from nothing, and now they see me gradually building, you know, from the beginning. You know, the same people that said I wasn't going to be shit. It's like, you know, especially like when it comes to women, like, you know, a lot of times men try to impress women, you know, and you do things, and a woman might be like, ah, no, you're not good enough, you're not successful enough for me. So, you know, a man like me, it's like, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's like the same way I went in the martial arts gym. It's like I treat women the same way. Oh, I'm not successful enough for you. I'm gonna get in that gym and I'm bust my ass, and I'm work hard, and I'm work hard, and I'm work harder. You know, and I get better and I get better, and I'm fighting. And girls like, yeah, well, you're winning local, but you're not in the UFC. But now, look, now I'm a step closer. Now I'm an ultimate fighter, undefeated. Battle of the undefeated house, you know. Now I'm at this step. Now they're gonna have to watch me on TV, and now if I win, I make it to another level, you know. So I'm trying to impress these people too. Like, you didn't have no hope in me, you know, and that's your problem now. Now you gotta drown in that, you know. Now I'm big bad wolf because I work hard and you doubted me, and I love that you doubted me. It fueled my energy. I worked hard and now I'm successful, and that's what it is, man. Karate Dulani to fight God, man. I'll bust my ass to be all I can be, and I am all that I can be right now.